Okay, so welcome back. Today it's just you. I think we have lost the other two on the way. No, I mean I guess they're busy and it's fine. But you have been playing quite a lot, right?
Yes, I'm
Um,
trying to play as much as I can, but you know,
and surprise, well, not surprise, but I mean important thing. You actually entered the BoardSpace tournament, the qualifier open for the World Championship. The top 16 qualified to the world for the World Championship. So that's quite a big tournament. I mean, it's also a bit it's also casual at the same time, but there are quite good people as well. So there are 56 players, and you are in the bottom part uh, of the ranking at the moment. I mean, you start with a quite low elo, because we're using the BGA elo for the seeding. So the first round was quite intense, right?
yeah. I mean, I'm learning that this is basically practice for me just to be in these kinds of situations at this point. And even playing the first game versus the second game, my heart rate was at a much different level. So it's just getting used
Yeah,
to the intensity of it.
yeah. Also, you have played much more correspondence, like turn-based, rather than
Yeah,
real time, right? In general, you have more
yeah.
experience with correspondence.
Online for sure, I have more. I played a few like in-person games, but
Hmm.
that's a little different than
Yeah,
staring at a screen.
yeah. Because I mean, I think real-time games are very different. Like they feel very, very different. And you also learn more. My personal opinion, if you have the patience to go through them afterwards and review them, um, you remember much better what was your thought process during the game and what were you afraid of, this kind of things. So yeah, it's a good training. I hope, and I hope it's fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you played the first round against Mirmigi, who is one of the strongest Greek players around.
Mm.
Fun fact: Mirmigi means ant in Greek.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. Um, so, as we discussed before, I think going through these two games, like reviewing them, I think would be a nice coaching session. If you're okay with that. The
Absolutely.
the first, like last time we did a bit of shapes, and the very first time it was just, I think, more general about like principles, general opening principles of Hive. I think we'll see some stuff about shapes today as well. Um, but I've seen the games already. I think there's a lot of stuff about tempo and attacking and defending, and yeah, I think we'll learn more about this. I suppose. Um, okay, should we go? Let's
Let's
go.
go.
So you open with the Pillbug, but you generally don't play Pillbug first, right? Or you trying a bit of everything now?
I am trying. I was trying in the week in lead up to this game to play Pillbug, and a week in my Hive experience is like since I've only been playing for 4 months. That's like
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yeah,
uh
yeah, no, sure.
10 years of my life.
Sure. No, because I normally suggest to start with the Ladybug. Pillbug is fine, but it's a bit more tricky and it's also more aggressive in general. But how do you feel in this game? I mean, apart from this game, actually, how do you feel in general playing a Pillbug first?
Um, on in my BGA games, I've had pretty good results playing it.
Hmm.
But that's probably just because I've had lower seeded players.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's been giving me a little bit more flexibility and it's been letting me be a little bit more aggressive, which is what I've been trying to do just
Hmm.
in general.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there's not much difference, especially if you start playing so recently. There's not going to be much difference in terms of opening. It's more about kind of learning new patterns or new ideas, and it's not about actually learning the opening by art. So it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, a very common structure of the Hive, if you play Pillbug first for white, is having the queen in line actually with the first two bugs. That creates a game which is quite different. Now you will go for either a Z or C or even a buffer. So that shouldn't be too different from what you know already, you know. You basically played standard setup, standard diamond, but with a pillbug instead of a ladybug, which can make a difference sometimes, especially if you have, let's say, a beetle here instead of a mosquito. You can throw the beetle into the pit here, has, I think, as you did in the game. We will see now. I think judoka call it electric center, where you have a bit more option in the center. You can move stuff around thanks to the pillbug. But of course, at the same time, you also are more at risk of the pillbug being surrounded completely. So you have to take care of that as well. So black went for a standard anti-spawn. Okay, and here, what did you play? You went for this. Okay, this is probably what I would have played as well. Of course, there are different options. Like here, you can play, lots of other moves. You can pin with an ant. You can just place another ant. You can even go for an attack straight away here. But I think it's a good idea to just go for ant game. Try to control the ants, and at the same time you control the this spot here, the that could become a pocket later on. The only thing is that with this ant here, you're not able to do a good pin replacement because you will need to place a spider or a hopper here, where there's the triangle. And now you can't really do it. But you probably move the ant soon enough, so that wouldn't be a problem. So black went for this. Yeah, so you decided not to pin the ant, but to place a beetle, which is fine. Normally you will get like if you pin the ant immediately, now black will go for mosquito, you will go for another ant, probably, and you have another ant here. Basically what happened is that you should win the ant game 3-1. But what black can do is to mess up things a bit using the mosquito pillbug combo. What I mean is now black should pin using the ant, and now if you pin the mosquito, this would be like a 3-1 ant game for you, right? Like you have three free ants blocking three, and the mosquito I consider an ant, of course. The thing is that here the black mosquito is next to pillbug, right? So actually, to make sure that you have pinned the black mosquito, then you have to anchor your white ant somehow, which means that black can spend basically now an extra move to distract you from that, and that could kind of change this 3-1 situation. That's how black will reverse this. Like unbalance the position. Otherwise, white just gets 3-1 ants because of the first player advantage, right? He goes first and he is able to pin one more ant than you. Well, two more because you lose one initially. Yeah, just this to show a bit what would happen. But you decide to go for beetle first instead of placing an ant. I mean, it's okay. Sooner or later, the beetle will come in play. And they went for the mosquito here, right? So to keep this mosquito pillbug. Of course, it's always tempting to pin the mosquito rather than the ant, because you want to keep the mosquito. Like you want to block the more powerful piece, but you always have the trick of the pillbug in place, so you need to take care of that. No, I think you played a kind of brave move. uh, at at very least aggressive move. Um, I mean, I assume you knew what you were doing in the sense that you have seen
Well,
that
I
the
knew what I was
ladybug.
trying to do.
Yeah, well, that's enough. But I mean, you seen that the ladybug is free here, right?
Yes. Hmm.
So basically, you're filling the elbow shape that we talked about last time.
Hmm.
Um, I say it's a bit bold simply because freeing your opponent pieces is never like it's almost never a good idea, right? Unless you get some other sort of advantage. Here you are blocking your own piece and freeing the ladybug, which at the same time also will pin the ant. So you basically get two pinned pieces and your opponent gets a ladybug free. Plus, black has two ants in play, like two mosquito and ant. And so the ant situation, the ant game is completely reversed. Um, of course, this comes with a like it's not completely bad because black doesn't have um has basically less spawn points than before. With the ladybug here, black has this extra spawn point, and this give like extra defense. And white should be able to take this space here eventually. Or if it managed to get this, then the white beetle will get free. This is what happened in the game as well, right? Um, the thing is that you went for this move, so you did this too quickly. I think that
Yep.
that was the problem. And at the same time, you have set free one of the opponent ant. So now we are going full like all in for the inner hive attack. So you're trading basically the ants for the beetle. You're saying, okay, the beetle attack should be better than the ants control. Unfortunately, this didn't work, right? Didn't work very well. I think this was a bit too much. Um, I will just go for something like there are other option here. The thing is that the pillbug can warp in here a piece either if you place it here or if you place it here, right? So you could play something like this, for example, with the idea of throwing the hopper in. It's good to keep the mosquito here for later. You never know.
Yeah.
Um, um, I would say even to place another beetle. The problem is that if you place the beetle, then the mosquito can pin your beetle, and now it becomes a bit. You can still go on with the idea. Might be a nice sacrifice. The pillbug is completely surrounded, but at this point you have to go for the attack. It doesn't matter much. So, for example, if you do something like this, okay, you still reach uh, your goal. The beetle is free to move, and now if the beetle gets on top of the black queen, then it becomes kind of scary for black because you will have two direct drops here. So at this point, black also has to defend a little bit. Um, and you can use the ants now, for instance, right? You can put an ant here, for example. Um, and now black either has to spend the tempo to go there and pin, or if he plays an ant, then you have the ant game. And so you combine the two things, the inner attack with the beetle, and you have also the ants if need be. Of course, black mosquito here is kind of it looks dangerous, but it cannot. Well, it could, but I don't think it's particularly good to cover the white queen immediately because then the white beetle will recover. So he has to spend the tempo playing something like this. Um, and white can go on with the ant game. So I mean it's a different game, but what I mean is it was worth to try to use more pieces instead of moving the same piece that you already have in play twice. The mosquito. So the mosquito you place it and move it. Sorry. And now you're moving it again, freeing one of the opponent pieces. So this is generally like a general principle. Don't move the same piece twice. It's most of the time true in the opening. Now we are at move 16, so you haven't played even 10 moves. Just, yeah, go for placing. Even if you feel that you're surrounding the Pillbug, or you can, I don't know, or your ants are gonna get pinned, it's just better to do that rather than move the piece again. But let's see, maybe there was something actually good later on. If the attack works, I mean, a good thing here is that the mosquito is threatening to get on top of the queen, and the black mosquito cannot recover, right? So
Yeah.
that was the threat, I suppose. But black can stop it, and now if the white beetle goes on top, black mosquito can recover. Here we have again the trick of the mosquito Pillbug, the combo. So black actually has to anchor the ant eventually. Otherwise you will just move the ant away. But let's see. So white hopper here. I think this makes sense. As we said, we don't want to do this too early, because the black is gonna just recover. And
Yep.
yeah, you qualify for the win. Actually, this was not a bad idea, because you could just throw the ant in here. With the idea of moving the mosquito later. Although again, you will move the mosquito 4th time, so probably not. Probably not. But it's something to keep in mind. It's not. Here I will go again for a beetle, for example. Just threaten to throw another beetle in. If we just count the number of moves you need to win, like a simple count, black has like four empty kill spots. The Pillbug could eventually even move, so but let's say 4 for now. You need basically 8 moves because you don't have any piece in play. Unless you throw the ant in at some point, but black can easily anchor it. Your opponent needs actually 3, 4, 5, 10 moves. But it has 2 ants in play, plus the ladybug, so actually 7 moves. He has to qualify for the win as well. So black can be ahead in the race, but he has to qualify for the win. In general, black has more mobility now, and more spawn points as well, probably. So
Yeah.
if I have to evaluate the position in general, I will say black is a bit better, because it has more pieces in play. Tempo-wise is probably slightly better. Of course, it's hard to calculate from now until the end. It doesn't make much sense, but it's good to try and see anyway. White qualify for the win, but black can qualify kind of easily, because just attack with the ant and then the beetle. And then, which was the 4th thing I want to say? The 4th dimension. So more mobility and angle of attack wise. So spawn points wise, white has got 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment, but can easily block 1 or 2 using an ant. And black has got 3 around the ant here, 3 around the ladybug here, and potentially 5 around the Pillbug. So this is already like a few factors going in black direction. So yeah, I'll say already black is a bit better. I mean, we knew that, but so I wouldn't cover the black queen immediately, for like there's no reason to do it immediately. So what you did, I guess, is fine. White hopper here. Of course, you cannot attack directly in this spot, because then the Pillbug will just warp the queen away. But the idea would be to cover the queen first. So correct. I would also think about another idea. Like since we thought about throwing the ant in here, Also, this could be, you could thought about something like this. It's like an anti-spawn setup, sort of. So if black wants to attack, at least you are protected against the beetle direct drops, beetle attacks. And at the same time, so let's say you go for, I don't know, something like this, this, throw the ant here, and the idea is that the hopper could be able to get in here eventually, and lock the ant inside. This would make sense. Although black can pin here. And now you have to probably go for this. You move the mosquito again, but at least you get some mobility. Now the ant game is again better for white. The thing is, which is also another thing we will see in the game, you have to be careful when you attack, right? Because the pieces you use to attack, they will get like they're not performing any other, they're not pinning any other piece other than attacking the queen. Which means that if you would just attack, your opponent will have a lot of mobile pieces, so it will be better place for defending. And then if you don't manage to finish the attack, you get stuck. Then the pieces that are attacking, so they are near the opponent queen, you will have to move it back again, and that will be a loss of tempo, and probably you'll be also in a worse position generally as a mobility, everything. So sometimes if you realize that on time, you can actually figure out things before, like you can improve your position before you get into that. I call it like event horizon. Like, you know, like when you go too far in the black hole, then you cannot come back. So if you see that before you go through, it's fine. But once you pass, I mean, it's sometimes it's not easy to see for even for expert players. If sometimes you pass that point, you cannot go back, and then you always have to defend for the rest of the game because the attack was not successful. So let's see what happened in the game actually. You place the hopper here. Another ant. So okay, now you cover. You throw the hopper in here. So at this point, probably throwing the ant was again another good idea. But and then even if let's say they block your mosquito, assuming it's a move they want to play, but they could even play just this. You can do this and lock the ant in and free your ant. And they might they can like readjust, rearrange, and still like shift the pin and keep your ant in place, but they have to spend the move. And this grasshopper here could be useful eventually. Anyway, what happened was, okay, over here. So now black decides not much about attacking. So this is not much about attacking. It's more about taking away the spawn points, because here you're quite you're quite low in spawn points. You probably have to again warp the ant somewhere. You went back there, right? Yeah. Yeah, you move the hopper back in there, I guess, with the idea of moving the queen away. Okay, so
yeah, I didn't realize the control situation that I was in until a little bit too late. That cost me, I think.
Yeah, now
the
it's
game
probably a bit.
ultimately.
Yeah, now it's probably a bit too late. Let's see if there was something that could. Okay, you're trying to control. Yeah, to take away.
I'm trying to get some spawn points back. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because yeah, there's not much here. Otherwise, yeah, you could move over here, but I think it's better to play defensively here. You could also think of creating a gate, right? But yeah, by placing an ant there. And this spider here is also not great. Okay, now like you continue attacking, but I think at this point you have to you have to accept that that there's not much to do and go on spawning ants. You need this. Black will qualify for the win. The only thing you can do here is try to create some gates in order to make life hard for black. But I think at this point is really too late. So there's 1, 2, 3 gates in place. So black has to come up with something to take the one of these two. The other one can be filled by the ladybug. So yeah, probably this should be enough. Actually, there's not really much to do.
It got bad fast.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think again, as we said, moving the same piece too many times and going too fast for the inner hive game, freeing an opponent piece, especially the ladybug. Like ladybug first is the most common opening for a reason, right? Because once you free the ladybug, it's very flexible and it can make a lot of damage. So you have to free it only only if you really know what you're doing. In fact, very often, let me see at the beginning of the game, very often an idea is simply not to get the beetle to attack the queen. The idea is just to get the beetle on top to cover the ladybug. That's sometimes even more important, you know, because now you can actually think about throwing stuff into that kill spot in here. Plus, you also get an extra spawn point here, and actually two, sorry. One spawn point there and one spawn point here that could be useful later on in the game. So here you're doing a inner hive game, but not just because you're attacking the queen. Also, like you have more control, you have more spawn points. So this is another like an idea that you could use. Still, it's probably very early for the beetle attack, but it's definitely better than just, freeing the ladybug.
Yeah.
Like black wasn't waiting for anything more,
Yeah.
But okay. Let's see how was. Let's conclude the game. I think that at that point there was not really much to do. So
yeah. No surprises happen here.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's hard to recover the game at this point. Yeah, I mean, well, black could have just won in one move here, I guess. Yeah, there's not much to do. Okay, but fine. It's okay. First game, warm up. Actually, I mean,
absolutely.
incidentally, you play the second game as black better, but I guess because it was a second game, probably. Because usually as white, you have a bit more breath, right? A bit more. You can allow yourself to make some mistakes. With black, sometimes if you make a couple of mistakes early on in the opening, it's hard to recover. But I guess here you had more. You were more aware of what was going on, and
For sure.
and you played better. So you went into a C opening.
I was like, maybe I'll get a tie, perhaps.
Yeah, it's actually also it's also a good choice. I mean, in this tournament, if you score, a tie in a two game round, still the match count as a loss.
Yeah.
And as a tie break, you have the game score. So in the tie break, that point you make with the draw, with the half a point you make with the draw, it counts. But it's better to actually fight still for a win. I mean, in this case, it doesn't matter. It's fine. It's just I'm saying in general. Also, against a strong player is a good idea. I think what you did, like to go for a C opening, where the draw is a bit more likely. Although depends. This is a typical idea, right? With the mosquito. I don't know if you have seen this before. So you use a Pillbug both offensively and defensively, because the mosquito he's in a proximity position, so it works as a proximity Pillbug. It controls these two spaces next to the white queen, so it's useful to defend and it's quite useful at the same time to attack, because you can throw the
Yeah.
Pillbug in one of these spaces. But okay, you have the end game so far, so fine. He went for a beetle here. So far, so good. This is also interesting because you put the Pillbug in a proximity position as well. Um, although maybe something, um, um, I'm not sure. Maybe something a bit different could have been done. I
I
think
think I should
here,
have played the Pillbug first before playing um the Beetle.
um, well, the thing is, if you play the Pillbug, either you play the Pillbug now here. Okay, this could be an idea. No, I wouldn't play it here because then you don't have any more chances to place a beetle to
Hmm.
defend. Now you have to defend by simply pinning the beetle. Um, but white can easily get a beetle now on top of the hive, and you don't have another beetle to recover. So it's better to keep a beetle to recover than placing just a Pillbug. Yeah, although here is fine because you have the pocket. So if white goes for this, then you have this move,
That's true. Yeah,
which is because you can't play this now, right?
yeah,
White moves
because
in
it's automatically I'm giving up that spot.
white moves and wins in one.
Hmm.
um, but this is good and this probably enough. At this point, if white wants to keep attacking, let's say this way, now you can actually put a beetle here. Um, and then okay, if white goes for this, you have 3 ants. So I mean, I think you can do quite well. But white is giving up completely the end game. It's true that you don't have a Pillbug next to the queen, so they don't have to qualify for the win strictly. But you have two defensive pieces here, so they have to cover somehow the queen. There's not much else they can. So let's say they play a hopper here, um, and you go for, I don't know, something like this. Oh, actually, you can even pin the hopper. But let's say you don't want to pin the hopper, you let them attack. Um, Now the beetle is free, you can just warp it away. Um, and if white goes for an ant here, you can just, oops. I think it's quite okay for black. I mean, still you have to be precise defending, but it's okay because you have Pillbug in proximity position, two defensive pieces here, beetle and the ladybug. Another thing to keep in mind that's at some point you can go for something like this even if you are like in a complicated position and you need to defend really defend because this will free the ladybug, your ladybug. So there are quite defensive resources. So I guess yeah, Pillbug here would have been okay. But what you did I think is fine still. Here you actually miss something that could have helped you, which is this.
Yep.
Because now to force beetle on top, white has to play either this or just throw something in there, like I don't know, let's say a hopper. Put the hopper in here to free the beetle, but that gives you more time to defend. So this again is okay for black, I think. You can put the Pillbug in a proximity position from the other side. I quite like this usually, although I like it more in a Z opening when the white queen is here, because the Pillbug can also be
Right.
offensive. So maybe here is not the best, but you can put it here as you did in the game, and after this, you go for this again. And now, if they want to cover the queen, fine. I guess you have enough. You can even go for this, something like this. So I mean, there are quite a few options, but let's see what happened in the game. Sorry, I'm actually talking too much. But what I
Quite all right.
meant,
It's good to see.
what I what I meant is that you were playing okay. And this I don't think is particularly wrong, but you have to be a bit more precise because now whenever you move one of these ants, the beetle cannot actually recover the white beetle anymore, right? You basically
Mhm.
self-pin your beetle. So you have to decide, you want to move your ants and sacrifice the beetle defense, like accept the queen is going to be covered and you cannot recover, or you have to keep the ants there and play with something else, which is possible as well. The ants will be free eventually at some point. White has to spend too much. Like he has to spend 4 moves if they want to place an ant and pin an ant, place an ant and pin an ant, which they could do, but you have time to unbalance in different ways. So they went for this. And it's not. I mean, I understand. Okay, they want to pin one of the two ants, but I'm not particularly
Or pin.
worried.
It's a or pin the mosquito just to
Or pin the mosquito,
hit
yeah.
something.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be that worried. I would just play another ant, for example. This one is a bit a stretch, and I mean a stretch literally. So,
Yes.
so yeah. So the thing is, you don't want a string of pieces too long, right? And now you are basically after the spider pins here, you created a string of 4 pieces, which is fine, but it's really a stretch. Sometimes it's better to. Uh, I understand that in this way you have basically stopped the spider from pinning the ants because you can move one ant away and then let's say you play this, then you place another piece in here and you free that ant, which is still kind of okay. But I would have probably just played a bit more quickly because this is 2 moves spent for white, sorry, trying to pinning the ant, and these ants are still like playing a like kind of a structure role, right? They are creating the pocket, so they're fine there for now. Of course, in the long run, a spider pinning an ant, it's um, it's a disadvantage. But anyway, let's see
What do you
how it
think he's
went.
going for there? He's trying to pin, trying to get me to move an ant so that I lock in the beetle so I can't defend, right? That was my thinking.
Yeah, but it's fine, right? Like it's not a big issue for you because you have a good defensive structure. You can move an ant, pin the beetle, and create a space here that you would use for another beetle or for another ant or for a spider, whatever you feel like it. In the long run, this spider is pinning at least 2 pieces for one, right? So
Yeah.
the material-wise, in the long run, could be a problem. But in the short term, you have more control. And he hasn't put 2 ants in play yet. He's playing all for the attack. So that's why probably was better for him to go for this as a bit more flexible. But now you have actually space for the Pillbug. We get into the variation we have seen before, which is fine for you as well. So um, I think either way, Black has lots of resources to defend. Wait, let me see. No, so what happened? You went for this. No, they went for this. You played this. Okay. This spider. Okay. No, now you didn't play this. You played. Oh, you went up with a beetle. Okay. Yeah, so maybe this is not super precise, but I think it's still okay because you free the space, the pocket for the other beetle. Um, it's fine. You only have to be careful in one aspect that you have covered your own ladybug, and sometimes
Hmm.
you might feel that sometimes the only way to actually defend is to free the ladybug, or sometimes white can go for something like taking this space. Um, well, let's say, well, let's go on with the game. Let's say you play the beetle, and you pin the ant there. Wait, let's say you play the beetle here, right? Now white has something to force you to defend, now you are forced to play a beetle somewhere, and this is because the ladybug is buried under your beetle. I'm not saying this is the best move for white, but in some situation it could be tricky. That's the only thing you have to be careful with. But in general,
Yeah.
okay. I mean, the idea is okay to free the pocket for another beetle, the beetle factory, right? I just get the beetle out
Yep.
and make a new one. But I don't like too much this move though. That you move the mosquito again to pin the ant. Um, so you are exchanging an ant for another ant. I understand. I mean, why this ant is more dangerous than the other one?
I think
Hmm.
I was overly worried about letting him on top of the hive with two pieces eventually. And
But
I'm not sure where I saw that. Yeah.
this doesn't really stop him, right?
Yeah.
I would understand if you play something like this.
But still he'd be able
Uh,
to go up.
yeah, but you have a beetle,
Yeah.
so at least after this he won't be able to get another beetle in here, and you also create a gate. Um, but this move doesn't stop, right? Either of the two anyway. So yeah, I think I would have gone for something like either put the beetle in there or blocking or pinning the beetle if you really want to. Um, but I think this move would be the best, probably. Yeah, I mean you can go or you can go for something like let's say this move with the idea of moving the spider all over there. So let's say they play this, you play this. Now you have to no, you have to look at it. You are threatening to pin the ant. Um, the thing,
I think what I was thinking at that point was I was afraid that he was gonna pillbug the ant into next to the queen, but then he could
yeah,
have done
that's
that with his thing anyway, with
yeah.
his pillbug.
The thing is, he cannot do it straight away, right? Because your queen will be free. So he has to. Well, let's say play this. They have to recover, and then get an ant in here. Okay, but it's not such like it's a bad use for an ant. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like you don't want an ant to get. I know it's in a kill spot, but first of all, it's in a shared kill spot, and second is
Hmm.
inside the hive. Like it's blocked. It cannot get out unless you use the pillbug power, which the mosquito might not have for the whole game. You don't know. So I think yeah, maybe you shouldn't be worried too much about that. And in general, not worry too much about covering your queen. If you have another beetle to recover and you have such a good like defensive structure in place. Anyway, no problem. Let's go for this. Let's see what happened. They recover. I think the game is still okay. Now another beetle. They throw stuff in. Now the ladybug is free. So you played great. Blocking here. Now they can cover. Yeah, that's the only issue. So maybe let me think. Maybe is there a way to avoid this? Hmm. I
Because
mean,
then he would fill the spot that I release, and then he
uh,
would be able to
but
send
maybe
something in there.
let's try something like this. Because the thing is, okay, yeah, the ladybug can attack, but you have a proximity pillbug. So it's not particularly useful because white doesn't have other pieces to attack. Now you have two ways to defend. You can use the pillbug to throw the ladybug out. You can use your own ladybug to get away. So this is also, I think, okay for black. Like it seems what black is close to losing, but if white doesn't have enough pieces or it doesn't have the right angle of attack, it's not that clear, I think. Something like this. Okay, white will attack in this way. You can always.
He
Uh,
would, yeah.
it's kind of tricky. Oh well, now there's a spider here actually that is a bit. annoying.
Yeah, the spider is problematic.
Yeah, but well, at this point you can even think about counter-attacking. I mean, I'm not sure. You have to count now, but maybe not. Maybe let's play safe. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so or maybe something like this, so the spider can't actually attack. And then if the hopper gets in here, mm, I mean, yeah, it's a bit tricky. I don't know, counter-attacking maybe it's not, it's a bit too early. But you can control a lot of spawn points. And I think that's maybe just this now. Ah, no, because there's a direct drop there. Although again, it is a big issue. Who knows? No, okay, letting put a beetle there is not the best. Okay. I think it's still okay, but yeah, let's be a bit more careful. What you played instead was more natural, which is this. I think it's okay. Oops, what happened? That. Okay, then it went there. And now you allow the direct drop. Maybe you have to stop the direct drop though.
Yes,
Somehow.
I realized from this game and a few other before that I have a slight blindness to this going up on top of the hive and then forming a what's usually a direct drop or a beetle farm. But now I
Yeah.
know this was valuable for that.
Yeah, I mean, especially I think when it's 3D like this, sometimes you can feel like this space behind is not really, you don't really consider it. It's like, and
Yep.
and people tend to, I mean, we tend to in general forget that the queen is there, so that those kill spots are particularly important. I mean, white can still kind of force the hand here. No, okay, but that doesn't lead anything. Okay, yeah, I think this would have been better, and I mean, black can still do this, but now again you have. So the point is that now white has to spend 2 moves to get into that kill spot, and this black
Yep.
hand is not necessary anymore there. Probably the white mosquito will go here. Again, one of those situations where black has to be very careful, but actually, again, here I use the wrong ant, for example, because now the spider can get into a kill spot. So use this ant. And even better here, actually, because this controls more spawn point. This black ant at some point will have to go. The white mosquito will cover. Probably something like this to control this other spawn point next to the white ant. And now actually white doesn't have that much. Oh, well, yeah, can sacrifice something here. Let's see. An ant. I mean, it's still okay, I think, for black. But yeah, you have to defend carefully, of course. Like often happens actually for black. So you went for this. Yeah, you forgot the direct drop. You did a pin replacement, which the idea is okay. I think though it's a bit too late in terms of now there could be another direct drop. Oh, okay, this one was an interesting idea actually. I didn't remember you played this. This is pretty cool. Having a proximity Pillbug. Yes. Maybe. Yeah, no, I think this is good. Yeah, I think you did your best here defending. That was quite nice. See, yeah, he even had to go back, so that means that you're doing actually well. That's what I meant before, right? He probably realized that the attack was not as easy as he thought, and he was also with 5 minutes on the clock, right, and against you with 12, which is a factor as well. So I guess he decided to go for something a bit safer. which means that on the other end that you have time to spawn another ant, but you can go for a pin replacement on this ant, for instance, or that as well is fine. Or he moved the ant because he wanted the hopper, I guess, to get in there, right? No. This is the pin replacement gone wrong.
Yes.
This is interesting, actually. I always feel I have to pin not in line but as elbow, because if I want one day to do a pin replacement, it's easier.
Yep.
Of course, it could have gone wrong actually in other ways as well. Let's say you pin this ant from here, and then you want to make a pin replacement from here with a spider. Then white can still mess up things. Oh, with a hopper, sorry. Then white can still mess up things with a spider here. So you have to be careful where you do pin replacement in general, not just if it's in line. But if it's in line, it's a bit harder to do a pin replacement. So I guess instead of this, if you want a pin replacement, you have to prepare it with this, which though means that you spend one extra move for it. So I don't know at this point. Let me clear this. So what could you do instead? Let's see. Because the other thing is you have to try to free this this ant. So this could have been, I think, a nice idea, maybe. This could be an option. It's not that
I think
super
I
clear
end up
how,
trying that after. Yeah.
because it's not super clear how white is gonna win, right? So, no, wait. You play here. Yes. He blocked your, prevent your pin. Ah, okay, you play that afterwards. Okay. Nice, okay. Now you can even go for, no. Even for this, maybe. But you don't have many other pieces available. You probably have to remove this ladybug eventually, because you don't have much more. Now you went for just, yeah, back and forth. Ah, okay, you went over there as well. Okay.
That
I
was
mean,
a
this is
mistake there. I let him
make
grab
the
my
ring.
ladybug.
Well, you can still. Yeah, the thing is now clearly has some angle of attack.
Yeah.
Pinning the Pillbug is rarely good. That's the problem.
And that failed pin too was ended up biting me here
And this
in the
one,
end.
yeah. Oh, in the end, oh wait.
Because
Oh well.
he had a chain there of like 4 pieces that I could have stopped, but I didn't have anything to do it with.
Yeah, there's 2 direct drop there. So let me see. What was the? You going back there? I mean, he could have
I
played
should have
that.
jumped with the grasshopper maybe. Jump down instead of moving that spider. The other grasshopper on the top.
Jump down here
Or maybe, I was
or
thinking jump
here.
down to the yeah.
Yeah, this is okay as well. I mean, they can still play this, but yeah, you have more options.
Hmm.
They still have 2 direct drops, but it's a bit more tricky because now you have quite a few pieces there. So yeah, they could go for this. Uh, hmm. Yeah, it's a bit tricky here actually. It's not an easy end game to analyze. Um, but I think you had some chances. I mean, the problem is white has 2 pieces in reserve, and this spoiled the pin replacement. Like this other upper would have been useful.
Yes, and once he made that farm, right next to my queen. That was a hard
Yeah,
thing to
once
come back
it's
from.
yeah, no, once his pawn thing's there, no, I don't think that's um maybe another let's see what happened after this. Maybe even play this or this, sorry. So I know he makes a ring and you free the ant, but at least he cannot do a direct drop anymore. So he will probably do something like this. Um, the main issue was yeah, was letting the direct drop there because after that it was hard to recover. Although this move is nice, I feel it should work somehow. Like it should help a lot somehow, but not enough, I guess.
Yeah,
N-
there's too many
Not
factors
enough.
going on there.
Not enough. Maybe you don't have to. Well, no, you can't do that. You have to anchor the your own mosquito, because otherwise they will throw it in here, and that's bad for you. But then if white attacks with this, then now you can throw this away. And if white keeps attacking, you can actually get this away as well. Maybe, yeah, maybe this mosquito idea was better than it turned out in the game. If he goes for this, you have other options. You can throw the queen here. Um,
Yeah, I was hoping for something like that down the line, but he moved the Pillbug out, and it limited things for me.
so after this, yeah, I think maybe if you didn't um, throw out the Pillbug immediately, keep the option for later.
Hmm.
You played, no wait, what did you? Oh yeah, you played this immediately, and then Because I feel here, since white has to go back a little bit, it shouldn't be too bad. But I
It's that
think it
pin
would,
replacement, man.
yeah, I think it would be much better if it was something like that.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe that's a bit tricky because this one, it's no, okay, this is fine because we have a spider still. So after this and this, if he spanned an extra move again as he did in the game, now you can play this. And they cannot spoil it in this way because you have this.
Yeah.
Right. If you do it with the hopper, yeah, then it will be a problem. But if you do it with spider, it's fine. So what do they do here? Yeah, they free this. Okay, they go for that, but we're stretching the hive, and eventually they're gonna run out of pieces. Still not the best. Still not the best. I think they have a lot. They have still one more piece than you in reserve. Okay, well. Oh no, maybe, oh no, wait, but you don't have to go for pin replacement straight away. I think your idea was good. Go for this
1 second, I'll
first.
be right back.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. I think we're done anyway. I think we have analyzed quite a lot this game, and there's definitely more, but yeah, defending is always a bit complicated, uh,
Yeah.
at least psychologically, and also here finding the right moves is a bit tricky. Um, But I think you found quite a good few moves. Um, but yeah, eventually it was not enough. Not precise enough, I'd say.
Yeah. I definitely
Okay,
let some moves go.
cool. I hope it helped. I hope it was
Yeah.
helpful to show some like more defending techniques and see how to switch from attack to defense, when to do it, when not to do it. Um, but I mean, you started to play 4 months ago. This is already so good. So
Thank you.
I'm sure next rounds will be helpful as well. And also you play with like he's a very strong player. Like he played in the World Cup in the past 2 years, and
Oh wow.
he plays a lot. So you didn't play a noob. So I think
Yeah, I played him
next.
on PGA and
Uh-huh.
actually before this and gave it my best try analyzing, taking as long as I need and still kind of flubbed it. But at
Yeah,
least I gave him a long game.
yeah, yeah. No, I think you put up a good defense, but yeah. Also, time control is a stress factor that you have to keep in mind often, right? And yeah, that doesn't help.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I
Um,
really appreciate this and hope to do this again for our next
cool. Yeah, we could do
whatever
it
happens
for
next.
next rounds. Good luck with the next ones.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Okay. Bye, everyone.